All right, by now you've heard it's all about getting out the vote. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Neil Cavuto. We are in a very frigid, I'm told, the real field conditions tonight for voting will be around minus 35. I think when you're talking minus anything, you're in a whole nother planetary system. My next guest is used to that and knows it quite well. Kim Reynolds is the governor of this state and a very popular governor at that. And, of course, she has traversed and is a big believer in the whole 99 county thing and visit across the state. Governor, your candidate of choice, Ron DeSantis, has done the same. Vivek Ramaswamy has done the same. We've not seen Nikki Haley do it, and we've not seen Donald Trump do it. How much of a difference does that make?
I think it does matter. I think Iowans appreciate hard work. They appreciate somebody that's willing to come to them to talk about their vision for this country and to take their questions and really, lay out where they stand on policies that are important to them. There's a reason that Senator Grassley does that every year. There's a reason that I do it every year.
Every Senate campaign,
yeah,
right?
Every time. And so,
do they remember the ones who don't?
Well, I think, yes, I do think they will because they appreciate somebody that's done that. And I think, again, Ron made the commitment to do that. He followed through with it. He put in the hard work. And I think that's reflective of the kind of president that he'll be, somebody that's willing to go the extra mile, that's willing to go to every corner of the state. They get a little sensitive on the corners, like, hey, we're part of Iowa, too. Don't forget us up here. So, they do know it. So it's important.
Were you surprised, Governor, that Donald Trump mentioned you again on your support for Ron DeSantis, said that he essentially made you governor and kind of resented the fact that you dared challenge him? I think I got the gist of it, right?
Yeah. Well, it's just not about President Trump. It's about who can step in on day one and really, has the skill and the resolve and to just turn this country around and to reverse the madness and chaos that we've seen.
But were you surprised the way he made it sound, Governor, is like you owed him?
Yeah, well,
And he said the same about Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, he's going to say what he's going to say. I'm just not focused on that. I'm focused on somebody that has a record of accomplishments, that it's a true conservative, that can serve for 8 years. I think that's really important. Just some consistency and stability. And when you look at the shape that the country's in, we need somebody that can go in there that understands the bureaucracy, that can, fight to get it back on track, do what he needs to do, follow through with what he said he'll do. Ron's followed through with 100% of his promises, and then use that second 4 years to really take this country to the next level. And, that's just a different time. We need somebody that can do that, and that's one of the things that I really appreciate about Ron. I got to know him during COVID. We were kind of on an island on our own with just immense pressure from all areas, even from, the administration. And we both tried
the Trump administration at the time, right?
Same thing. Okay. Shelter in, keep the kids out of school. And Fauci was every week had a different report card telling us to shut down our businesses, to shut down our restaurants, our bars, and to mask up and get the kids out of school. And so you had to bring people together, look at the data, the science, and make decisions based on your state. And, we all started with, we didn't know, so we all kind of sheltered in for a little bit. But I really appreciated his resolve to do the right thing for the people that he served, and then to look at his record of cutting taxes, keeping spending in check, reducing debt by nearly 25%.
What if he doesn't do well here, Governor? I know it's still early.
Yeah.
There's some polls that have him trailing Nikki Haley here. I have no idea where it ends up.
Yeah.
But if he were to finish third here, a lot of people tell you it's over.
Yeah, but the enthusiasm is with him. If you look at the last poll, the last Iowa poll, his was like 62% of people that are most definitely going to show up. They have the best.
But in the Register poll, it has him third.
But not on turnout, not on enthusiasm. And that's
what you're hoping.
Well,
that's what
it's about the ground game. It's cold.
Right.
You better have put in the infrastructure.
Who stands to benefit?
Yeah, he does. I mean, he does. He's put the time in to lay the ground game. He's got speakers in every one of the precincts. He's got people that have committed to caucus for him. So, he's been working on that. What it's just been surprising for me is the number of people that have come in from out of state to door knock and to help get out the vote. A lot of state workers in Florida that work for him took personal time, paid their own way, and are up here. And I think that's really indicative of the kind of leader that he is.
So having said that, Governor, when I spoke to Nikki Haley this morning at a diner, I love talking to people in diners, by the way. We should do this again at a diner.
I know,
but
me too.
One of the things I learned from her is that, look, if it comes down to Donald Trump as the nominee, I'll support him. I'll support whoever our nominee is. Do you share that view? Does the Governor DeSantis, share that view?
Well, I don't. You'll have to ask Governor DeSantis that, but I've made it clear that I will. I'm a Republican, and all of the candidates running are going to be better than what we have.
All the stuff he said about
Yeah,
you?
well, because we've got to win. We are a resilient people. This country is in trouble. Look at the southern border.
I talked to a lot of people at that diner, Governor, who said, no, this isn't worth it. To go to Trump, no.
Yeah, well, people are going to I just think, too, when you look at the direction of the country, I believe it's going to be Ron. So I believe he's our best shot.
But if it were Trump and Biden, you, the Governor Biden,
yes,
very popular governor, would go.
I'm on record saying that and consistently saying that. I'm a Republican, and we need to make sure that we don't reelect President Biden for another 4 years. We're resilient. We can come back after 4. We can get this country back on track. But I'm not sure what happens with another 4 years under this administration and the open border and the economy. It's hard. We're doing well here in Iowa against a lot of challenges from this administration.
And you are a tough bunch. We'll see how many of you get out there to those polls. That's crucial.
They will. Be safe.
Governor Kim Reynolds, thank you very much. And she did touch on it, how important it is in this kind of weather. And again, it is nasty weather, particularly out in the hinterlands when you get away from the cities and such. A lot of those roads remain unshoveled, and even with the big wind squalls we've had, the snow is right back out there. So that is the wild card here in this state. We'll explore what that could mean right after this.